and welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. We have something very special for you right now. And I'm not vamping just to bring up my email. What are you talking about? I'm vamping because I have so many things to say about so many great... Damn it. Okay, I was vamping. Surprise, surprise, you got me. I wanted to... I have a very special interview to introduce today. You see the title of the episode. I'm talking to Melissa Roxburgh. All right, she is the star. You may know her. You may know her from a little show called Manifest that was saved from being canceled on television to being revived on streaming. It was on NBC, and then it moved to Netflix. Can you believe it? And it was a huge hit on Netflix. What are you doing? Oh my God! It sounded like the dog was about to throw up. I don't have space. I'll get into it in the episode, but I don't have space right now for two sick animals. We're not talking about Manifest, though. We're talking about the great and lovely new high concept. In my head, I was saying the word sitcom. No, a procedural crime drama. That is The Hunting Party. I've spoken to the creator. I've spoken to several of the stars. Now I'm talking to one of the other stars. Melissa's a great and fun actor. And you know what? She's a fun person to talk to. I'm so glad I was able to sit down and talk to the person who starred in two Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days, where she played two different characters. This is a real quick trivia. How many Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies are there? And let's just ask that question. There's 1, 2, and then there's the animated series. Right? That is on Disney Plus. How many, there's 3. There's 3 live action ones. How many Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies have I seen? There's 4 live action ones. Jesus. Oh, there's 4 live action and 3 animated. How many of those have I seen? I've seen everything but The Long Haul. And I've also seen all of the cartoons. You know why? Because they're fun. We're talking about The Hunting Party. It just ended its first season. You can watch it all on Peacock. The Hunting Party, if you don't know, is about a bunch of serial killers who I almost ruined the finale. It's a bunch of serial killers who escape from a maximum security prison, and Melissa Roxburgh plays a character who has to go and use her FBI analyst abilities to help catch them for a government organization. It's great. I love an idea like that. Just give me something fun. All right. It doesn't have to have to be the most serious thing in the world, even though it does have serious things in it because they're about murders. Melissa's great though. She's fun. And I gotta stop saying she's fun. She's a good actor. I like her a lot. You can follow her on Instagram at mroxburgh. Support her, support the show. Go watch it on Peacock. I think I should probably throw to the interview now. If you want to see a video version of the interview, go to youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see the other interviews that I have with a lot of other great people. But if you want to see a video version of Melissa's, go there now. If you're watching the video here, you're already on it. Anyway, We'll see you after this to do the rest of the episode. I forgot what I was going to say. All right, enjoy this now. Melissa Roxburgh.
Hi,
Melissa, how's it going?
going good. That's a cool painting. Did you do that?
No, I did not. I found it at an antique store. Do you like it? Do you want me to send it to you? Because I could just go ahead and
I'll take
package it.
that. Thank you. Yeah. No, it's cool though.
Thank you. I appreciate it. How's this press tour going for you?
It's going good. I mean, like we have our finale coming out on Monday, and
Mhm.
so it's pretty much done after that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for everyone to see it.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it too. I'm not done yet, so don't ruin the ending for me. But
Well,
I'm glad that we're getting a few answers to what's happening within this world, especially like right off the bat. I love that the episode just starts off with, "Hey, we've got some answers for you right now."
yeah. You know what? I have not seen the final episode, so
Okay.
remind me.
Okay. Well, at the end of nine, you everybody's meeting up, and then the guy just tells you, he's like, "Hey, I've got info about the explosion, and you guys learn about the infiltration." And then
Right.
he
Sorry.
doesn't.
I'm also, as Melissa, there was a lot of information coming at me. And so I think Bex kind of got thrust into this world
Mhm.
where she thought she was just going to catch the bad guys. And now she's realizing that there's Silo 12 and
Mhm.
that, Odell wasn't behind the blast. And um, we, as an audience, discover that Lazarus is Shane's mom. And so I think that there is a lot of cliffhangers going into season two about what the pit is and about who's running it. And yeah,
Would you say that you're just drawn to mystery shows because between this and Manifest, there's just so many cliffhangers that you've had to deal with in your life?
yeah. Manifest was the king of cliffhangers for sure. I think everyone loves a mystery. I think everyone wants to, kind of wonder what's going on in the next episode and have something to look forward to each week. And so I think having unique creative killers every single episode and having us go after them, that's one aspect of fun. But then we also have this overarching, yeah, it's like break, but with a twist because they all got experimented on.
Yeah.
So figuring out that world and why and what's going to happen to them, I think is super fascinating.
I told JJ that when like the start of the show, it's just so simple. It's high concept. We get it right from the get-go. I love it. I love the idea. What drew you to wanting to take over this role of Bex? Because you know that as you saw with your previous show, Manifest, as you guessed it in Tracker and other shows, this could be in for the long run. So what drew you to wanting to do another show like this?
Yeah, I think like I don't know. I personally love the mystery of the pit. I think it's such a unique concept. And then also I just got to profile serial killers and like everyone loves serial killers. So I think what drew me is the fact that there's this really badass profiler who gets to go into the minds of these crazy, am I allowed to say crazy? These people who kill people. And so for me, that's fascinating and approaching every single killer differently based on their neuroses or their psychopathologies. Um, that drew me in. And then I just lucked out in being able to work with people who are so great, so down to earth. Everyone showed up every day with like 100%. And so yeah, I'm really lucky for that.
Who's your favorite serial killer?
Of the ones that we've seen,
No, I'm talking about in real
in
life.
general, I mean,
John Wayne Gacy, he was a clown.
um, I don't know why, but the docu series Don't F with Cats. I know he only killed the one person technically, but he just like it's just the fact that he kind of based everything off of movies,
Mhm.
insane.
Right.
Like like everything that he did was just like reenactments of like different cinema aspect. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I couldn't understand the minds of any of these people.
No.
Especially like Like even Bex being a profiler for like that was her previous job, and now she's being brought back into it at the start of the season. I just couldn't. I don't have that type of capacity to recognize. Oh, this person's doing this. This person's doing this. And what did you see when you were studying up to be this character?
Everything like I'm an actress. You see all sorts of people in the world, and I'm sure you do too in interviewing people. But I think everyone. Also, I've been in therapy, so I feel like you really get to know the nuances or reasons behind why people do what they do. And this sounds so silly, but like even in communication, because this is something I've been learning,
Hmm.
is like you have to approach people differently based on their capacities, and so kind of broadening that into what like these really messed up people doing crazy insane things. It's like, yeah, but in their minds they're doing it for a reason. They actually believe to some of them to some degree that they're doing it for good reasons.
Right.
David Ramsey played this guy. He really thought that he was helping people. He really tried to start a cult, and
Yeah.
in his mind that was ideal for him. But so I think what makes Bex good at her job is that she's not judging them. It's more like, okay, but why is your mind getting to this point where you think that this is normal and okay?
Melissa, that's perfect. Yeah, I can't say anymore. I got the rap sign, but
Uh,
this was an excellent conversation. Next time we'll have much more in-depth conversations about our favorite murderers, and I need you to come prepared. All right.
okay, I
All
will.
right. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. We're back. Here we are again. Uh, I didn't want to say this in the intro. I have a couple of things to announce in the intro. From the intro. I okay. So I'm a fan of Manifest, and I've watched a lot of it. I have not finished it. When it went to Netflix, I did not see the last season, but I watched a lot of it, and for some reason in my mind, I just never. I always thought Melissa's last name was Roxburgh, and I always thought she was British. I'm not kidding. I always thought she was British. So when I talked, when I said when she popped up on the Zoom, I went, "Oh my gosh, she's just from America." You can't see it. I have a really good poker face when it comes to that. But I thought, I'm not kidding. For all of Manifest, I thought her name was Roxborough, and then I thought she was English. I thought she was British. I'm not joking. I truly thought she was British. And then she spoke and I went, "Oh, all right. Well, this is new." So that's that. Secondly, I just recorded Late Night Lately. So there you go. But the Masters is on right now. So I was going to have it up again. If you don't know my setup, I have a giant widescreen and then I have 4 quadrants set up. And one quadrant, one's OBS, one's Audition, one is Notion, and the other is Google Chrome. And I was going to have the Masters playing from YouTube TV, the website. Turns out you can't have YouTube TV playing while you have your webcam on. So now and the iPad is doing the audio, the soundboard stuff. So now I'm just watching it on my phone, burning through the battery. It's not like I'm doing anything later today, though. So it's whatever. Probably just going to sit on the couch and play some games. Um, I'm what games have I been playing? I don't know if I'm going to do this every single week now. But I put Avowed on pause, unfortunately. I'm not really feeling the game at this point. It's still downloaded to my Xbox. I was going to jump into the Nintendo Switch news stuff, but I'm not doing that just yet. 2 new games released on Xbox this week, and they're both on Game Pass. So I decided to check them out. Well, actually, I decided to check one out, and then a friend texted me this morning about the other. South of Midnight, whose review embargoes came out last week, popped up last week or ended last week. I don't know what to call it. I don't know if it's a an action platformer or whatever, because I literally just started last night and I'm not even 20 minutes in. But so far, it's story focused. It's a third person, and the animation is stop motion, so it looks, it's got the same jitteriness that Wallace and Gromit would have, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. The game started again. I'm playing this last night. It's 8:15, and I'm 45 minutes away from going to bed. First of all, I had to download it. Second of all, I had to delete. The next Xbox that comes out, the next Xbox and PlayStation, I need a minimum of 1 TB. I had to, and I'm not buying a proprietary thing. I mean, I'm buying a proprietary thing for the Xbox and plugging it in. I keep thinking about that, and I'm like, no, I don't want to spend $100. If I want to spend $100, I'm going to buy Mario Kart World. And then for PlayStation, I'm just not going to buy an SSD. If I'm going to buy an SSD, I'm putting it inside of the Steam Deck, and that's it. I'm not buying an SSD. I'm not buying multiple SSDs. Yes, they can be $50. I don't care. If I'm going to buy an SSD, I'm buying a 2 TB. I'm putting it in the Steam Deck, and I'm calling it a day. But I have to download this game, South of Midnight, and I have no room because Call of Duty. Yes, I know I beat Black Ops 6 months ago, but they also on Game Pass there's Modern Warfare 3, and that has a story mode. I just want to beat the story, and then I want to delete it. Actually, I might just delete it and just beat the story in cloud because I don't care. But it does look good. Anyway, so I played like 20 minutes South of Midnight as I was downloading it. I played Call of Duty for a little bit, Modern Warfare 3. That's a game I also did start that, and then South of Midnight popped up and said it was ready to play. I started it. It's telling a fine story. My issue is it's in such a hurry to move things along, even in those first 20 minutes, that, and I know it's a game with magic and stuff like that, but it's in such a hurry that it makes you lose believability in the stuff that's real ahead of the time. So before all the magic starts. So the daughter is at home alone during a hurricane, and the mother rushes home from helping out the shelter that she works at, and or that she runs, and she goes, "We have 4 minutes to leave here and go to and go to our own shelter before the hurricane hits." And the hurricane is literally happening. I found it, but anyway, voice acting is great. Oh my gosh, I'm excited to continue the game as I play the Masters on my iPad. I'll be playing the game on the television. At the same token, the Blue Prince is a game. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's okay. First of all, it's just called Blueprints. I think it is a puzzle game because I wasn't understanding the reviews I was reading. But I feel like it's a puzzle game that is based on a mansion, shifting rooms and stuff like that. I'm hesitant to try it because there's a game called The Witness that is a puzzle game that I could not understand for the life of me. And I'm not stupid. I'm a smart guy. I'm a smart guy. Smart. Yeah, that's pretty good. But I wasn't understanding. I didn't understand The Witness, and so I was watching the blueprints, and I was going, "What?" Okay. And another thing I hinted at when I was doing the Melissa intro, when Maverick came over here, and I said I don't have the space for 2 sick animals. The cat, she's doing fine. However, she did have to have a leg amputation. Because it was cancerous. She had a tumor on there, a mass that we believe now is a tumor. And so now she has 3 legs. She's currently recuperating. At first, she was in the closet. This was a couple of days ago. She was sleeping in the closet. She has barely eaten. I have to hand feed her, hand water her. But now she's feeling strong enough. I've moved her to the couch. And hopefully we get another 10 years together. I love her. I love her so much. Okay, let's move on to the stories. This comes from 9 to 5 Mac, written by Ryan Christoffel. Apple TV Plus has a teen problem, even as iPhone dominates. Now, Apple TV Plus is a streamer that I can't believe is still going. I won't say strong, but still going. And still going is too crude. I can't believe that it is doing, and I don't want to say doing as well. I'll say that. I can't believe it's doing as well as I perceive it to be doing. It's got a lot of really great projects on it, not including the kid stuff, not including the studio, even the movies. Like they're all very like good watches, and and for some reason, I guess Apple TV Plus still feels like a place where it's curated because it has less stuff to watch. No offense to Apple, but if I go on, I don't just go to Apple TV to look for stuff. I can go on Peacock to look for stuff. I go on Netflix to look for stuff. But even with that curated feel, Apple TV Plus is not really doing the best with a demographic that is very important for today's day and age of social media. Apparently, as Ryan writes, only 1% of U.S. teens are regular Apple TV viewers, as per a survey. The survey is from Piper Sandler. It published its 49th semi-annual survey of teens in the U.S. on a variety of topics. 6,000 teens were surveyed, talking about their usage habits with tech, entertainment, food, clothing, and all that stuff. But according to this Piper Sandler, yes, the iPhone is the most used piece of shit in the U.S. I don't say that because I have this. I'm using a Mac and an iPad. When I said this, I was holding up my S23 Ultra. 88% of those teens surveyed own iPhones. You know, around the world, people don't care about iPhones. They don't care about what phone you have. They care about what messaging system you use. If you use WhatsApp, they all use WhatsApp. They don't care about FaceTime and iMessage. Only 1% of those teens said that Apple TV Plus is a regular part of their daily video consumption. That compares to 31% viewership for Netflix and 26% for YouTube. Obviously, if their family doesn't pay for, and I'm just going to assume that these teens don't have jobs, but if their family doesn't pay for Netflix, then they're going to be using YouTube. And also YouTube is just, it's right there. And I can just go on my phone or my TV or my laptop or whatever, computer, and watch it, Then write my, if I'm a teen, a little racist comment and pretend it's never going to hurt anybody. But as I scroll through Apple TV right now, I'm looking at it and everything is very much HBO in the 2000s. And by that I mean it's prestige television, and it's not really things that teens are going to be looking for. Now, when they become 18-year-olds and they hit their early 20s, then yeah, these are the shows and movies that they're going to want to watch. But I can't imagine seeing a teen want to go watch Silo or Foundation or Invasion. They're not going to be searching out Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. There are things on here that they would watch. Argyle is because, which is a movie I liked. Argyle, because the rumor is Taylor Swift wrote it, but no, she didn't. Teens aren't going to be looking at Severance or The Studio or Dope Thief. Maybe Mythic Quest. I would say Ted Lasso, but they're not going to be searching for The Morning Show or C or For All Mankind. So yeah, that makes sense. That's it. That's all that story is about. All right, moving on. Good Lord. Deadline. Your website sucks. SNL officially lands a UK remake with Sky. This comes from Peter White. In its 50th year, SNL is going to do a UK version of the show. Not only are they, doing the US version, this UK version is going to be a totally separate thing. Deadline apparently revealed 3.5 years ago that Sky was remaking Saturday Night Live in the UK. Now it's getting the green light. The remake is going to premiere in 2026, and it's the most high-profile international version of the venerable NBC late night show, after remakes in China, Germany, Italy, and South Korea. And at one point, Horatio Sands was going to try to do a Mexican remake. It's very early on right now, and cast members are not booked yet. But UK's comedy community is probably already buzzing with people ready to go. It will be interesting, it's written here, to see what time the show launches in the UK and the US. It airs at 11:30 p.m., 8:30 PT. But British audiences tend not to watch television quite as late as American audiences, so it may well air earlier in the evening. Now, the UK obviously gets clips of SNL, but that's not truly their style. If you watch any UK show, let's take Taskmaster, then while comedy is international, and I even say, universal, the idea that British audiences are going to enjoy the same shtick that US audiences watch is a little bit far-fetched. And I wonder who, and just like SNL, we're not going to get people that are necessarily known, but I wouldn't put it past them if for this first cast, they didn't pick stars that are just like ready to go. But I'm excited. I'll watch it. I have seen a little bit of the South Korean SNL, and I did not because I didn't understand language, but I just did not get it. But it was so, I did not get it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, because it was very funny, and the audience was going crazy from the clip that I saw. All right, this next one comes from Variety, written by Zach Sharf. James Cameron says blockbuster movies can only survive if we, quote, cut the cost in half. He's exploring how AI can help without, quote, laying off the staff. James Cameron appeared on the Boz to the Future podcast and said the future of blockbuster filmmaking hinges on being able to cut the cost of VFX in half. And if you'll know, James Cameron is doing the Avatar movies now as his magnum opus. And he's just trying to figure out how AI might help bring costs down without replacing crew members. I think it's important that I've been on both sides of the debate. I'm trying not to be on both sides. I'm not trying to be a Jon Stewart or a John Oliver. However, I'm not saying I've had a giant turn into AI, but I have had a slight step away from my anti-AI beliefs. I do think that we should not rely on it. It is a tool in the same way I don't use a hammer to completely build a house. I use a hammer for specific motions when building a house. And then I use a bunch of other tools to help me build the house. I think that AI should not be something that we lean on entirely. However, it is important that we pivot as creatives to bring in. I'm trying not to dance around it, but I also don't want to, step on, eschew my beliefs. We should be using AI not with safeguards, but also in. When I say moderation, I mean the tiniest of moderations. It should not be writing things or doing or creating VFX completely. It should be, man, I'm having trouble coming up with a sub lead for a story on, like, I'm a CNN writer. I'm trouble. I'm not writing CNN now, but I'm saying I'm having a trouble coming up with a sub lead for this story, and it needs to be 20 words or less, and it has to, uh, tell the entire story, but also make it smaller. I don't know. I'm sorry, I just got a message on top of the goal. It has to tell the entire story, but not spoil everything. And so if I go to ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot and I go, describe the story to me, and then I help, and I take the words that it says, and I just kind of work from there. Or if I'm a graphic artist and I go, man, I'm not too good at drawing a golf ball. Give me dimples for a golf ball, and then it creates a dimple on a golf ball, and then you fill in the dimples yourself. Things like that, but on smaller things, and smaller ways. But it should not be. Yes, I see you. It should not be something that is used and relied on as a crutch. And I think Cameron sees that, and the idea that he wants to save people's jobs. He says, "quote In the old days, I would have founded a company to figure it out. I've learned maybe that's not the best way to do it. So I thought, all right, I'll join the board of a good competitive company that's got a good track record." He said of joining the board of directors for Stability AI, which is the company behind the text-to-image model Stable Diffusion. My goal was not necessarily make a shit pile of money. The goal was to understand the space, to understand what's on the minds of the developers, what are they targeting, what's their development cycle, how much resources you have to throw at it to create a new model that does a purpose-building thing. And my goal was to try to integrate it into a VFX workflow. Now, Cameron before has talked about how AI jobs won't be taken over. AI will not be taking over Hollywood jobs. But I mean, if the WGA and if SAG and the Directors Guild and the Producers Guild, if they never striked, or if they never threatened to strike, and we just allowed companies like Warner and Disney to have the run of the mill with the likenesses of people, we've seen what they want to do and can do. That's why Scarlett Johansson was so anti-ChatGPT for using her voice for one of its models. It's people should be paid for their work, and they should not be thrown to the side because of these cheaper and a lot of the times incorrect tools when it comes to doing the jobs. That being said, it is okay for us to, as creatives, again, I'm not a part of any guild, but it is okay for us to want safeguards, and for something, if it is done by an AI model, to be marked as such. Oh, this was written by AI. Oh, it was created by AI. According to Cameron, I just no, hold on, no. That's him denying that AI is going to take over Hollywood jobs, and I've already spoken on that. In his latest interview, Cameron also said generative AI users should be discouraged from feeding prompts into the software such as, quote, in the style of James Cameron, or, quote, in the style of Zack Snyder, noting that these kinds of ripoffs, quote, make me a little bit queasy. So he understands. This month, we've seen that Studio Ghibli style AI anime creator pop up. And, Hayao Miyazaki has been the head of Studio Ghibli, I think, and he directs a majority of the movies. He's said he's been against that stuff. He's been against that AI creating things for a long time. And people think, and I've seen it on LinkedIn. People think it's so fun and like, oh, I've been using this all week and it's so great. And here's my wedding photo in AI style. I just in Studio Ghibli AI style. I said that and I just got goosebumps. That stinks. Like that's like stealing someone's work, and people are going to say, well, I'm only using it for my benefit. But if everybody is using it for their benefit, not making money off of it, eventually someone's going to start making money off it. That's how things are ruined. if someone, if we have these video generating AI things, and someone, yes, it only creates 10 seconds or however many seconds of video at a time. But you don't think that Disney and Warner and Fox and Paramount, they're all not looking at that, and Universal, they're all not looking at that? Of course they are. Of course they're looking and saying, this thing is creating great looking CGI videos or real life looking videos 30 seconds at a time. It only takes 20 minutes. We should look into this. No, people, this is one of the reasons why I'm against Lion King, the Jon Favreau remakes, is because we need actors. And yes, they had actors and everything. We need actors. People need jobs. You don't just go in one place and shoot a movie in a giant warehouse. Look at what oh God, this is a movie I own. Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, I couldn't think of the movie. Fantastic Mr. Fox. They went out into, even though it's an animated stop motion movie, they went out into the world, recorded George Clooney in a field. So it's on the special features. Am I going to do this last story? Yeah, I'll do it. I'll skim over it. This comes from Brian Steinberg over at Variety. Fox News aims to snatch ad dollars from CBS, ABC, NBC in bold bid. We know that Fox News is the most watched cable news channel. Fox News has been a venerable opponent against CNN and MSNBC for decades. Now, Fox Corp, in recent months, has been working to put its much talked about cable news outlet on a different battlefield. Sales executives from the company are making the case to buy two top media buying agencies that in the streaming era, Fox News Channel offers the large live audiences that advertisers historically got from CBS, NBC, and ABC, but which are no longer guaranteed now that customers watch their favorite TV series on broadband outlets at the times of their choosing. I watch a lot of the Golf Channel because I watch a lot of golf. And also I watch a lot of the NFL channel in the morning, NFL Network with Good Morning Football. On both networks that are male driven, particularly to an older male set of people, older set of males, I see a lot of the same commercials for like, and also PBS NewsHour. So I watch that a lot too. So I see a lot of the same commercials for, Consumer Cellular, Viagra, Cialis, stuff like that. Consumer Cellular is the older people's cell phone service. And more often than not, they're all the same commercial. And they play them a lot, especially on Golf Channel, Golf Network, Golf Channel. You'll see a lot of the same Cialis, Viagra commercials. Just the same ones over and over again. But at the same time, I just saw a Mercedes commercial play during the Masters, and I'm sure, I'll see a Ford truck commercial soon, and the same Ford truck commercial will be playing on Fox News. I don't watch that. I blocked it from my YouTube TV. But sometimes it'll pop up. It'll be like, "You watch Fox News, right?" And I go, "No, I don't watch that shit." Fox News, again, is the one of the most watched networks because a lot of people have shifted towards streaming. Yes, you can get the broadcasters, CBS, NBC, ABC, over the air, but the people that still have cable or cable-like platforms with YouTube TV, Sling, and Hulu and Fubo, they often watch. With people who have those and they lean right, they will watch Fox News more often than not. One time at my gym, this is so stupid. One time at my gym has TVs and stuff like that. This is years ago. They were like, yeah, this is years ago. The owner of the gym, one of the owners, who I don't know, but we've seen each other in passing a lot. And I know everybody at my gym, but we've seen each other in passing a lot. I guess this is over Christmas, and obviously they have to open. And the owner opened up the gym And usually all the TVs are set on on sports, or if there was a sporting event and it's set on that channel that it was the sporting event last night, the night prior, because I go in the morning, then it's set on that channel. So 99% of the time, 99% of the TVs are on sports, with the exception of one TV that is always on HGTV, and it's always the same one. He turned, I don't know, 3 of the TVs on Fox News. roughly 3 of the TVs. And I remember setting up my work, just getting my dumbbells or whatever. And I remember turning to him, and he's like setting up this room where he's about to teach a class, and he's just like sitting there, just like standing watching Fox News. I thought it was so fun. And he's a huge guy, just a giant dude, just watching it very seriously. Oh my God. Now, the Fox sales pitch comes in the weeks leading up to the upfronts. The upfronts are where U.S. TV companies try to sell their commercial time to advertisers, touting the shows and the movies that they have available to be advertised with. So, Pepsi, Burger King, Apple, whatever. Every single advertiser, potential advertiser, they're going to be at these upfronts in New York most of the time. There's 2 upfronts a year, and I think they're both in New York. But anyway, one's in New York for the spring. They pop up. They go to all these events. There are these parties. There's events, and companies, broadcasters will be like, or channels, networks, whatever. They'll be like, hey, we have, for Fox will probably be like, oh, we've got Fox News, and we just renewed The Simpsons and Family Guy and Bob's Burgers, and we just brought back American Dad. And so animation domination is going to be very strong. And we've got 2 comedies, Going Dutch and Animal Control, and people love watching Gordon Ramsay stuff. So they'll be like that. So advertisers will be like, okay, well, we want to sorry, Google heard me. We want to advertise Pepsi drinks during animation domination, because people who watch Family Guy and Bob's Burgers will probably be thirsty when they watch, stuff like that. Fox News rates, as they say, are cheaper, quote, cheaper than broadcast prime, but we have the same scale, the same reach, and high duplication of their audience, says Trey Gargano, Executive Vice President of Advertising Sales for Fox News, during a recent interview. I don't think there's anything else like it in the marketplace, he adds. It's a smart move for a channel that is getting, quite frankly, hand over fist viewers hand over fist. I mean, Gutfeld is technically a late night show, and it gets higher ratings than Colbert and Fallon and Kimmel all the time, consistently. Just because people watch it doesn't necessarily mean it's funny. I remember when Gutfeld started, and I was doing late night lately? But I remember, Jesus Christ. I remember doing, I think late night lately was going when it started. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I remember watching a clip of it on YouTube in incognito mode. and being like, I wonder if I'm going to feature this. And I watched one clip and I went, this ain't going to happen. And it's serious when I say, hey, this ain't going to happen. The pool of marketers is for news is limited, because do a lot of people watch news, and we see for Fox, yes, and also they don't want to polarize their audiences. Ford wants to sell trucks to the people who will more than likely buy them, but also they're going to sell them to people like me who like the idea of a bigger car and want utility, but also don't want an SUV. I drive a Kia Niro. I don't want a bigger car. I'm fine. I'm straight. I love my car. I think it's fantastic. I do wish it was the plug-in hybrid version, not the fully electric version. I have the regular hybrid, which gets 50 mpg, which is fantastic. I actually have to fill up the gas tank now. But I also want just the ability to plug in. Like I had a Chevy Volt, R.I.P. But I also want the ability to just like plug it in and get 30 or 40 miles instead of having to roll my car downhill to charge up the battery, slightly pressing the brakes. I go to a recycling plant every week, and it's up a hill. Well, there's a street that goes up a hill. It's in a hilly area, and every time I go down, because it's at the bottom of the other side of the hill, so I go up, and then every time I go back down, I'm not pressing the gas, just lightly pressing the brake, and I'm watching that battery every time, just like charge, bar, charge, bar. Please give it to me. Advertisers are going to continue, even though there's not that many. They're still doing their best to. I think about this all the time. I was thinking about this morning. Even I know I'm pretty sure I've said it before on the show. Even racists like to watch Marvel movies, and I don't want to pick on Marvel movies right now, but even racists like to watch Disney movies. They're I mean, with the exception of Snow White and Little Mermaid. I was gonna say Logan Lerman. Racists hate Logan Lerman. No, they're Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame were two of the biggest movies of all time. Avatar and the Avatar: The Way of Water, giant movies. Even Harry Potter, like racists want to be a part of those conversations. Oh my God. How many racists are you thinking like, not my Captain America? I mean, they didn't see the Anthony Mackie one, according to the box office. But sales are important, and now that we have this new digital age, because they can take some of the advertisers from Fox News channel proper and also say, hey, we also have this new, because they do have this new, a new Fox News streaming app coming out. They can also say, hey, we've got this. In the same way, CNN can do the same thing because they're going to have a streaming platform, property, rather, excuse me. And then there's also stuff for MSNBC with them mixing around their shows. They just have a new show called The Weekend that airs on the weekend, obviously, with 4 of their talent. And then they also have a bunch of new shows that they're doing on the weekend in the primetime area. I don't know if it's primetime, in the afternoon, I guess. Ads are important. Ads are important, and we know that. And they're only going to be so much. So I don't know how to end this, but whatever. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where it'll be back up at some point soon. Again, check out the Melissa Roxburgh. See, that's what I'm talking about. I thought her name was Roxburgh. That was not. I wasn't doing a joke there. Check out the Melissa Roxburgh interview under the interviews on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, where you can also see a video version of this show, as well as a video version of the other 2 podcasts, Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs podcast. Subscribe to those shows wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, watch it all on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. You can follow us on social media, C Plus Comedy, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. Me, at Chad Blackwhite. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.